Call of Duty Vanguard is right around the corner, and you probably don't know if you should be excited for another year of COD Legends. My name is Ryan. I hope you're having a fantastic day. The Vanguard closed beta just finished, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you my thoughts on the game so far. By the end of this video, you will have a better idea of what to expect when this game launches and whether or not you should be excited for a Call of Duty Vanguard. Now, Legends, let's jump in. Ooh, let's go. Oh, let's go. Oh, let's go. Oh, this is... No, why you turn to look at me like that? Oh, we get him anyway. Okay, Legends, the format of this video will be very straightforward. I'm going to share my thoughts on Call of Duty Vanguard, broken down by the good and the bad. Keep in mind, I've formed this opinion after playing a lot of the Vanguard Alpha and even more during this first weekend of the beta. However, the game is still very subject to change. This game will change between now and the upcoming open beta weekend, and it will change even further by the time the game launches on November 4th. You should know that I played the game on a PlayStation 5 with a mouse and keyboard for input. From a performance perspective, the game felt okay. I wasn't experiencing frame drops or anything crazy, but there was a degree of stuttering, and this occurred particularly in the 10v10 and 14v14 modes. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't really play games on the PlayStation 5, so I don't know the base level of performance. So when the PC beta drops this coming weekend, I think this will give us a better feel for the general performance of the game, and I will hold off on a final and firm decision until then. Moving on to the gameplay, the game is built on the same engine as Modern Warfare, so I was expecting it to play in a similar way. This game looks like World War II, but brighter and more vibrant, and it plays like Modern Warfare, but better. For some reason, and don't get me wrong, I played a lot of Modern Warfare 2019. The game, even in beta stage right now, just felt better than MW. Some of my main frustrations with the gameplay, the core gameplay, mostly come due to the lobbies I was going up against rather than the game design itself. Okay, the game felt good, but I was playing the most sweaty Timmies out there. Okay, take, for instance, FaZe Optic Scump. Bro, look at FaZe Optic Scumpy gaming on me. What? This slidey little... This man wanted to slide, cancel, bunny hop, challenge every single gunfight, and it was incredibly frustrating, but I will talk more on this later. Diving into the general weaponry and core gunplay, I didn't get a chance to have my hands on every single weapon during the beta. I tried out a fair few of the assault rifles and SMGs, as well as both of the snipers, and what I did use, let me tell ya, felt really good. For the most part, I was really happy with the gunplay, okay? I would win fights that I was expecting to win. For instance, if I started shooting at the enemy first, generally I would kill them before they had a chance to kill me, and vice versa. If I was a bit late to a gunfight and had already taken damage, I would generally lose that gunfight. There were a few exceptions to this rule with some of the more overpowered weapons, for instance, the STG, the BAR, the Thompson, the MP40, but it's very likely that these weapons will be balanced when the full game launches. Okay, the guns that felt strong this weekend will not be as strong when the full game launches, but let me say the general gunplay flow felt good. The gunsmith customization element feels the same as Modern Warfare, but with more attachments. The max level of some of these weapons, I believe, is about level 70, which is insane. This is going to offer a ridiculous amount of customization, but it's likely that this could come with a cost. Weapon customization is really cool, but as we remember from Modern Warfare, balancing weapons and all of the attachments proved to be a challenge, and this resulted in the player base gravitating towards the same weapons and attachments for the better part of the year. I'm not sure if Sledgehammer Games have an answer to this, but fingers crossed, and we will wait and see. The last thing I want is for players to be using the same weapons for an entire year of Call of Duty. Early on in the beta weekend, I thought that the time to kill was really reasonable. I felt like I could react to certain gunfights and maybe have a chance to turn on people or find cover, but as the beta progressed, I started to feel like I was dying faster and faster, and particularly to things like the STG, the MP40, and the Thompson. These are some of the more overpowered weapons during the beta. I think the time to kill is likely to be in a pretty good place, but some weapons need to be balanced to ensure that there is nothing that melts you too quickly. We should have a better feel for the time to kill after the second weekend of the beta, and again, once they tune the weapons and balance the weapons prior to the full launch of the game. Now, I want to talk about something that I really loved in this game, okay? Combat pacing is a new feature introduced in Vanguard, which allows the player to choose the pace of their games. Want to play a traditional 6v6? Try Tactical. Are you a fan of a larger player count? Try Assault for 10v10, or Blitz for 14v14. These larger player sizes are played on the same maps and modes as 6v6. So in the words of the developers, combat pacing allows all maps to feel like Shipment, and it's entirely up to you what combat pacing you play on. Combat pacing is a really great addition to Call of Duty, and I'll tell you why. Red Star is a map that we played during the closed beta. It's a big, snowy map, and if you played this on, let's say, 6v6 team deathmatch, you probably would find yourself falling asleep. It was boring. It was so slow. Players would camp in buildings, and you were probably just running around the map looking to shoot at something, right? But then when you played Red Star in a 10v10 or 14v14 mode, it was way better. The combat pacing literally increased the speed at which you played. You were getting into gunfights more often, and it worked really well. However, there was also a downside to combat pacing, and that was Hotel Royale. For some reason, during the beta, I felt like whenever I played Hotel Royale, which is the smallest map available to us right now, all I would get is a 10v10 or 14v14, and it was way too hectic. It really did feel like I was playing Shipment. Every single corner I would turn, I would run into a player, and as hectic as it was, it wasn't my cup of tea. I think the larger player counts work better on certain maps. Hotel Royale played really well as a 6v6, whereas Red Star played terribly. Increase the player count on Red Star and it felt good. Increase the player count on Hotel Royale and it felt awful. However, with 16 maps available at launch and a range of combat pacing options for each map, I think the game is going to feel really fun and really fresh for a long time. And I think that's not something we've had in previous Call of Duty games. It's not something we're used to. Speaking of maps, we had access to 3 maps during the beta: Gavutu, Red Star, and Hotel Royale. I really like the feel of Gavutu and Hotel Royale. They played nicely on all game modes, and Gavutu in particular played nicely across all combat pacing options. Red Star, however, played like red hot trash on all modes except Patrol. 6v6 Patrol on this map played incredibly well and was a ton of fun. Speaking of which, Patrol is the new game mode introduced this year in Call of Duty. It is essentially hardpoint, except your hardpoint moves location. It's constantly shifting, and so players are constantly moving themselves to get points to win the game. Patrol was the most fun I had playing the beta. I always had my fingers crossed no matter what map I played, the game mode that I would land on would be Patrol. Now, movement. It felt solid. There's really not much to say here. I haven't played Modern Warfare or Warzone in a while, but movement reminded me of these games. Okay, it was smooth, it was crisp, and the crackhead slide canceling bunny hopping nerds are gonna have a field day. And that brings me to my next point: skill-based matchmaking. To be honest, I could not tell you if skill-based matchmaking was active in the beta. I did, however, feel like I was playing against some total crackheads. And I know historically, over the last few years, skill-based matchmaking has been active in previous games. So I guess my concern here for the launch of the full game is skill-based matchmaking. It could single-handedly ruin this game, and my hope is that it is either balanced nicely or it simply doesn't exist at all. However, I'm not going to get my hopes up. Okay, legends, before we move on, I just want to say, if you did not know, I stream several days a week on Twitch. All of my links can be found in the description below, and I'd appreciate it if you would stop by and say hey. In fact, I'm streaming this weekend playing the PC version of the Vanguard beta, so stop by and ask me any questions that you may have about the game. Now, let's jump back on in. Okay, to round things out, we're going to talk about a few things that I really did not like. Starting off, audio during the beta weekend was shocking. Footsteps in particular, I could barely hear footsteps of the enemy teams. And then they've got the field upgrade Dead Silence. I don't know why anyone would ever use Dead Silence. Footsteps are already incredibly soft. So the footsteps audio, I'm sure they will address this prior to the launch of the game. I'm sure there will be audio tuning passes, but there is a lot of work to be done here in my opinion. That brings us to field upgrades. Okay, body armor is going to be the most used field upgrade unless it gets changed. It is totally a crutch upgrade. You basically get free body armor every single life. There were some instances where I would put my body armor on, I would play my life out, and before I died, I already had body armor ready to go again for the next life. Please change the recharge rate of body armor. I think it should be at a slow recharge rate, the slowest in fact, or simply remove it altogether. There was also this gameplay mechanic called suppression. I think it's a newly introduced mechanic with Vanguard. It sucks. It rewards bad players for missing their shots. If you're being shot at and the enemy is missing, your movement speed is slowed and your screen shakes. Okay, this is what suppression does. And I just don't understand why you would do that, why you would reward bad players for being bad. If you're missing your shots, suffer the consequences, okay? And prepare to get outgunned. And the best you can do in that situation is just improve yourself as a player. Don't reward them for being bad. Ugh, I can't even. A lot of people have already spoken out about the suppression mechanic, and I agree with what is being said. Okay, either remove suppression altogether or allow it only for people that choose to run LMGs, and even then, force them to use a specific attachment on that LMG. It makes sense for me to be suppressed by something like a light machine gun. Okay, legends, that brings me to the end of the video, and in summary, yes, you should be excited for Call of Duty Vanguard. Be sure to leave Sledgehammer Games feedback in the form of constructive criticism, okay? This should not be hateful and it should not be hurtful in any way. Give them feedback and we may have a chance to make this one of the best Call of Duty games we have had in the last 5 years. Legends, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to hit the like button. Let me know in the comments below if you disagreed with anything I said. I would love to hear your opinions on COD Vanguard. And finally, if you want to see more of my content going forward, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Legends, I hope you're having a fantastic day. And remember, let's be legendary.